Harry's wife. She is widely disliked. I've explained on many occasions how Harry's wife is becoming more and more disliked by sections of society as a consequence of them witnessing her behaviours. The longer that she remains prominent in the public eye, as her narcissism drives her to keep a certain control and draw fuel, etc., the more opportunities there are, because of her brand of narcissism, to see how she tells lies, how she revises history. More opportunity arises for people to come forward with their own stories of abuse, mistreatment and bullying as a consequence of the way that she has conducted herself. And therefore, as people look at this behaviour, more and more people think, I really don't like her. And this view has continued as we turn to a different perspective provided by Olivia Murray, writing for American Thinker, headed Vanity Project for a Hollywood D-lister, challenge fuel, accelerates decline of a renowned film of cinema. Already, you can get the flavour of this article that demonstrates the dislike for Harry's wife, labelling her a D-lister, that she's engaging in a vanity project, and how she is responsible for accelerating the decline of a particular field of cinema. Let's dive in and find out what this author has to write about Harry's wife. Countless modern instances create a scenario in which I find myself yearning for past eras or alternate realities. Living in an amoral culture of Sodom-like depravity is something I find detestable and, frankly, intolerable. But there's one reason in particular that compels my nostalgia and or wishful thinking, and it's rather petty. I miss the time when Harry's wife and Harry weren't constantly in the news cycle for one ridiculous thing after the other. And I can sense many of you, as you're watching this video, nodding in agreement, thinking, oh, for that halcyon time when I had not heard of Harry's wife. Oh, for those peaceful days when my news feed wasn't filled with her rictus grin and smarmy looks, that I didn't have to open my computer or my phone without seeing something about what she was doing and becoming more and more irritated by her behaviours. Many of you have commented as such. The article continues. First, there were claims that an unidentified family member had concerns about their unborn child's skin colour. Revision of history and lie. Not saying it didn't happen, but those same family members slobbered over the Obamas, so I find it hard to believe. Then the couple used millions of taxpayer dollars, sense of entitlement, appropriation of assets, to redesign their personal residence with luxury renovations. But don't worry, they paid it back after the scrutiny, so hats off. That's a little bit similar to someone defrauding somebody and then offering to pay it back. Of course, I'm not suggesting that they'd acted fraudulently, but the point is that the supposed contrition only occurred as a consequence of being found out. And as you know with a narcissist, it's false contrition. And just recently, we learned that one of Harry's wife's latest podcast episodes, which routinely features serial moaning and controversial claims, ranked below an 8-hour track of baby lullabies. Despite all those particulars, I would be mortified if that were me, whereas you know from my work, Harry's wife doesn't have the presence of mind or awareness to be mortified by it. Harry and Harry's wife refused to go gracefully. Dignity be damned. Apparently, there was a Netflix documentary in the works, and the trailer just dropped. Now, admittedly, I am completely ignorant of the cinema and film history, so I did a quick internet search, looking for what those in the field had to say about their mission when embarking on the production of a documentary. I found this. Documentaries can preserve important events or parts of history, sometimes stories or archival footage that other people would rather bury. This gives the world not only a better understanding of events in the past, but also a glimpse of what we might face in the future. Furthermore, a documentary's goal is to bring to light a certain cause or injustice, with the hope that their film will help galvanise the masses to demand change. These defined parameters and stated objectives seem to make sense with the little I do know, Blackfish sought to expose the sordid side of SeaWorld, stories that other people would rather bury, and therefore encourage action against whales in captivity. An Inconvenient Truth, if you can even call that a documentary, had a mission to rally support for action against global warming. Or is it global cooling now? So why the heck is there a documentary about Harry and Harry's wife? Are Harry and Harry's wife important historical figures? Are they raising awareness for a societal ill or pandemic? No, not at all. Firstly, they're indistinguishable from the rest of Hollywood and philanthropic types. They contribute to the historical record like any number of guests on Jerry Springer contributes to the historical record, for absurdity alone. Secondly, there's no hint of this being an altruistic project, at least not from the trailer. So what's the mission? There isn't a mission. There's zero evidence this cinematic endeavour fits the conventional purpose of a documentary, preserving human history or promoting humanitarianism. And I know this is going to be hard to believe, but it's clear that it's nothing more than another nauseating, self-promoting, vanity project. Imagine that from a mediocre Hollywood actress. The trailer begins with someone posing the question, "Why do you want to make this documentary?" To which Harry's wife replies, "Doesn't it make sense to hear our story from us?" Isn't that what a prime time interview is for? Furthermore, Harry and Harry's wife were the brains, and I use that term very loosely, behind this project. They came up with the idea to make the documentary, rather than an actual documentarian. I mean, that's what it sounds like given the tone of the question, juxtaposed with the lack of traditional content. I'd like Harry and Harry's wife to explain to me how this isn't just a less trashy version of the Kardashian show. If Harry's wife's podcast can't beat out Baby Lullabies, what's the likelihood this no-show will beat out Coco Melon? Fair observations, and the fact is that this documentary, and to describe it as such is giving it a label that isn't applicable to it, as the writer has just explained, is all about the prime aims. And if you understand narcissism through my work, you would very easily be able to answer this question. Why has Harry's wife been insistent on this docu-series? 1. She wishes to use it to control people, particularly the royal family. 2. She needs to draw fuel from people's reactions to it. 3. It enables her to draw character traits. 4. There are the residual benefits. A ridiculous sum of money being paid for what will be undoubtedly be a load of dross, and furthermore to manage the facade. Therefore, you get your answer. Many people will be scratching their heads. Why did she do this? What's it about? And they will sort of go to the wrong answers, because they think, well, it's about revenge, which is on the right track, because revenge is part of the assertion of control and the drawing of fuel. But as you know from my work, valuable viewers, that when it comes to the actions of a narcissist, 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the prime aims always plays a part. And therefore, when you realise that you're dealing with a narcissist, you are thereafter able to explain the ins and outs of the behaviour to demonstrate why this person is behaving as they do. They're doing it because they need to assert control over X or Y. They're doing it because they need a reaction, which is fuel. They're doing it because they need the prime aim of the residual benefit, namely facade management. And it's no different with Harry's wife's behaviour with this docu-series. Underpinning it are the prime aims. Yes, part of that will manifest as being seen as revenge, but revenge is the assertion of control and the drawing of fuel. Settling of scores, assertion of control, drawing of fuel. Making her look good, facade management. Making people feel sympathetic for her, provision of fuel and assertion of control. Each and every explanation that people go to, you, as educated viewers through my work, will be able to realise that it's all, as always, when it comes to the narcissist, about the prime aims. And this article demonstrates again the level of dislike that comes forward in relation to Harry's wife, and forensically explains how this is not a documentary, that analysing in such terms is erroneous, and it really is a vanity project driven by the prime pursuit of a narcissist. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.